Hello there YouTube, and welcome to another video. Today's video I'm going to highlight and just kind of get you guys prepared and get a good grasp on what you need, how to craft both the Heartrunes for your ultimate ability along with these new gems that are in the game. These gems are going to be game changing in terms of PvP and PvE, so I'm going to kind of go through on how to craft these along with just explaining the Heartrune gems, how to craft them, where to get them, why you need them, what they do, and kind of highlight each one as well. This is just more of a guide on prepping you to be able to get the materials you need before Brimstone comes out, along with what you should be ready for once Brimstone releases, where you need to go, where to get each item, and all that stuff. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave some comments down below. If you guys have any insight on some of this stuff, be sure to leave comments down below. I love other people trying to help out. Also, if you guys like this video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the Heartrunes. So these are going to be your ultimate abilities. There are 5 different ultimate abilities. There is Cannon Blast, Detonate, Grasping Vines, Dark Ascent, and Stone Form. Now there are different tiers of each of these Heartrunes. There is a minor, a major, and then there is a third tier. They're all gold. They're all 625 gear score. But essentially, once you have a major Heartrune, and I'll get into this in a second on how to upgrade them, but once you have a major Heartrune, you'll upgrade those into either a brutal, a greater, or a stalwart Heartrune. So what that is going to do is, once you have one of these, you can make all of them. But once you have one of these Heartrunes, they're just going to be different buffs and debuffs depending on how you want to play each ability. They're just going to have different like abilities, like perks within each Heartrune. So as you can see here, I'll kind of go through this. This is the Stone Form one. So this is what it's going to do is harden yourself with a layer of stone, cleansing all crowd control debuffs and granting immunity for both stagger and crowd control debuffs for 5 seconds. It'll do that no matter what, right? This is the minor one, doesn't have any other perks. Once you upgrade it to a major, it's going to give you Fortifying Form. Damage absorption is increased by 10% while active. Once you upgrade the major, you'll be able to upgrade it into either, like I said, there's a greater Heartrune, a stalwart, and a brutal. So they all have different perks. So the greater one is Fortifying Form and then Hardened Form. This one has Fortifying Form, Mending Form, and this the brutal one has Fortifying Form and Unstable Form. They all have different perks. So once that launches, you'll be able to kind of decide and go through each one, which one suits your playstyle, which one is the best for you. I'm not going to fly through every single perk because it'll just take too long. I recommend just going onto the New World database website and kind of researching these for yourself. But that kind of is a way to break it down for you. So I know it can be kind of confusing, but if you type in Heartrune, right, you'll kind of see it. So minor, major, and then these are the 3 you know, legendary versions within the Stone Form. Same thing with Detonate, same thing with Grasping, same with Dark Ascent, same with Cannon Blast, and Grasping Vines and all that. So just kind of scroll through each one of these, the major ones, to decide which one you're going to kind of want to gun for. And I will give you guys a guide on where to get the materials to be able to craft all of these. So on the PTR right now, there's kind of 2 different forms of PTR right now. I have an older version when the PTR first released with Brimstone. So I have a lot of the blue ones being able to show me how to upgrade it to the major. So I'll show you that, guys, that right now. So for instance, once you get your minor Heartrune, which to be able to get these blue minor Heartrunes, you're going to want to grind out dungeons, basically. I don't know if you're gonna have to necessarily grind them, but if you have materia to make the runes, you'll be able to craft these on launch once the Brimstone comes out. I know myself, I have a ton of Genesis materia, so I'll be able to make the Grasping Vine ones no problem. You need 8,000 material. That is a lot of material. That is a lot of grinding dungeons. A little excessive in my opinion. Another way to get these minor runes is each respective dungeon, these will drop from the final boss. So for the stone form, it's going to drop from the Lazarus dungeon. Same with the Grasping Vines is going to drop from Genesis. Detonate will drop from the new dungeon in Brimstone, Need. Dark Ascent will drop from Tempest. And the Cannon Blast will drop from Barnacles. I don't think you have to do mutators for these. I think you can just run regulars, so it should be no problem. Just grind out the regular dungeons for each one. The boss will drop a minor heart rune for you. Once you have those minor heart runes, then you're going to want to upgrade them to majors. These are the materials you're going to need for all the major ones. So you need the heart rune itself, 5 rune stones, 5 gypsum orbs, 5,000 umbral shards, 5 corrupted lodestone, and sulfur. Sulfur is going to come from sulfur chunks. Sulfur chunks are going to be something that you're going to farm around Brimstone. So here is a map of Brimstone right now of where to get where to find these. So you'll go to little, they're called little brimstone. They're like brimstone rocks. You're going to want to farm these, and they'll give you the sulfur chunks. You take the sulfur chunks, bring them to a smelter, and you'll make sulfur. All right, so now this is where kind of things get hectic. I'm not going to be able to go through all of this stuff. As you can see, there are a lot of different recipes for all of the gold heart runes. So essentially what you're going to want to do is go to New World Database and go to the PTR. Once it's live, you can go to live and just look up the recipes for each of these to find out what you need for your heart rune that you want to use. There's too many to go through here, so I don't want to just waste your time, but do that and find what you need. So essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your major heart rune, bring it to the stone cutter, and that's where you'll make the gold version of it. So for instance, you'll need the major heart rune. So for this one, heart rune of stone form, greater heart rune of stone form, you'll need a major heart rune, wooden coins, 10 gypsum orbs, 5 runestone, 50 vials of Azoth, and sulfur. There's also just different recipes for each one. This one needs thorny vines. This one needs saltpeter. There's other ones that need feathers. So you're going to need just a lot of different things. The wooden coins are going to come from chests and just grinding out brimstone. So do chest runs, do dungeons, all that stuff. You'll just get wooden coins all over from just playing in brimstone. There is another material for some of these. It's called WRIT of Adventure. It looks like this comes from a side quest within Brimstone. And it also is available from the faction vendor. It says Marauder, and it costs 20,000 faction tokens, and you can buy one every 23 hour. Available in 2 other shops. So it is available in the Syndicate and Covenant ones as well. So if you see this as part of your recipe to make your greater heart rune, that's where it comes from. These come from faction shops. There's also a quest. So once again, use New World Database to your advantage and find out where the quest is, who you talk to, and all that stuff. If you click on this stuff, it'll show you exactly where it is on the map and all that stuff. So some of these you need pristine sapphires, thorny vines. I'm just going to kind of fly through all of these so you can just kind of take a look. I don't want to spend time going through all of them, but as you can see, feathers again, and the WRIT of Adventure. So once again, that comes from the faction shop. But they're all somewhat similar as you can kind of see. You'll just need a lot of the wooden coins. You're going to need a lot of gypsum orbs. Once again, it's pristine sapphires. You're going to need a lot of vials of Azoth. All this stuff is going to go up in price, man. So be sure to have a lot of these just on standby so that when you need to, you can make these. These mats are going to get pretty pricey at a certain point because a lot of new players are coming into the game as well. A lot of returning players that are going to grind this stuff out. But yeah, as you can kind of take a look, all somewhat the same. So make sure you have some of those materials ready to go. All right, so now transitioning into the new gems. These are kind of crazy, can kind of be overwhelming because there's so many of them. As you can see, there's categories for amber, amethyst, aquamarine, carnelian, diamond, emerald, jasper, malachite, moonstone, onyx, opal, ruby, sapphire, topaz, right? So we'll kind of just click on one and I'll kind of give you guys a somewhat idea. The recipe for all these are the same. You need these Runeglass cases. I'll kind of go over that in a second, but you'll need a cut pristine of whatever one you are looking for, just regular gem of whatever you're looking for. You also need 1 gold ingot. Gold ingots not going to be that crazy hard to come by. They probably won't go up in price too much because you only need 1. If you needed like 5 or 10, it'd be a little crazy, but since you only need 1, it shouldn't be too crazy to get some gold ingots on you. So let me explain what these gems are. It's very overwhelming. I'll try to break it down the best I can. So I'm looking at an onyx, Runeglass of empowered onyx. So the empowered onyx is 25% damage against targets with full health, inflicts hex, dealing 8% arcane damage per second for 2 seconds. The reason it does the arcane damage is because this is an empowered onyx. You go down to the ignited onyx, it's going to be fire damage. Leeching is going to be gain 3% of your damage as health. Frozen is going to do more ice damage. Electrified, more lightning damage. Siphoning is going to give you mana back on successful hits. This one is pretty interesting. 25% damage against targets with full health, and your melee attacks do additional 2% damage. So for instance, with that said, most melee players, right, great axes, warhammers, they like to run opals in their great axes, right? So if you put this in your great axe, it's going to do 12% more damage while your stamina is not full, and your melee attacks do an additional 2% damage. We have Arboreal, which will do nature damage. Sighted, which range attacks do an additional damage. Energized, this one's kind of crazy. So it'll give you the effect of the Gambit gem, and it'll also do 8% or 8+ stamina with each successful hit. And then you have Abyssal, which will do more void damage. All right, so not only can you put these in your weapons, but you can also put these in your armor. So now I know a lot of people like to run things like diamonds, opals, onyxes in your armor, right? Now let's say that you're somebody that runs a lot of diamonds, right? You run a lot of diamonds in your armor, and you want to get the energizing one. This is kind of the route I think I might end up taking, is the one that gives you stand back. So if, let's say you put 3 diamonds in your armor, right? These Runeglass diamonds in your armor, you'll get 1.5% physical and elemental damage absorption in your armor, and then the elemental damage and then gain 2 stamina with each successful hit. These effects will stack. So if you have 3, it's going to give you more than just a +2. It's going to give you +6, right? So these are crazy. So these are huge. You're going to want to grind these out. You're going to want to get a lot of these. These are going to require a lot of different mats. So as you can see, to make, you do need 180 stone cutting to be able to craft these at the stone cutter. So to be able to make these rune glasses, you're going to need the cut pristine regular gem. You're going to need the rune glass, which I'll go over here in a second, pure solvent, and then a gold ingot. All right, this is where things can kind of get crazy. The mats you need are kind of crazy. So once again, you're going to want to use New World Database as your best friend here. Go to the Forge, and the Forge is where you are going to make all of the cases to be able to go craft those rune glasses, right? So as you can see, they all take different type of materials. I have a couple of them because I've been running like I've done like a chest run, and I've done a dungeon here on the PTR. So I have a couple of them. Like I have 5 of these Chaos Glyph stones. These come from, I believe, supply boxes. I will go on the New World Database and show you guys where to get all these different things. So for instance, let's see so if you need a rune glass case of empowering, you're going to need 10 charged sand, 4 sulfur. We already went over where sulfur comes from. The glyphs, 5 of each glyphs, and then an ancient glob of ectoplasm. So once again, for these glyphs, right, you're going to want to type in on New World Database which glyph you need, and then use this to be able to find where to go for all of these. So like for instance, the glyph stone drops from different supply crates in Hermopolis, which is in Brimstone Sands. If you need the water glyph, right, then you're going to want to go to Serpent's Pass and grind out supply crates. So they're going to drop from different areas of the map. So when you find which one you need, go to New World Database, find which glyph you need, where to get it. But basically what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to grind out Brimstone Sands, man. To get all of these things, you're going to want to just do chest runs all over Brimstone, do your dungeons, all that stuff. A lot of these materials drop from all these crates. The ancient glob of ectoplasm drops from supply crates as well, all over Brimstone. So charged sand is something that you make at the stone cutting table as well. To make these, you need sandstone blocks, which are once again all over Brimstone as well. You'll just need to farm these. There are small veins, medium veins, large veins. You'll have to grind out the sandstone blocks, and you will need obsidian sandpaper, which isn't too bad, to make charged sand. Once you get the charged sand, you'll be able to use that to make the rune glasses as well. Now, the nice thing about these mats, right, is you are in luck. These are all going to be on the trade post. These are all bind on equip. So when people are grinding out, doing PvE and doing their chest runs and doing that stuff, a lot of people are going to be selling these things because they know people want them, right? So if you type in glyph, a lot of the glyphs, they're all available on the market. So as you can see, you've got all the different glyph stones, along with the sulfur chunks and everything like that. The ectoplasm is also bind on equip. It is a material that you can sell. So don't worry if you're not a big chest run person. You're not trying to do all the PvE stuff. You will be able to buy all these things off the trade market. So another thing too is once you make these rune glass casings, these are also bind on equip. They are sellable. So if you don't have, you will need 180 weaponsmithing to make the rune glasses. So I'll go back to the forge here, but yes, you do need 180 weaponsmithing to be able to make the rune glasses. If you don't have that, these are bind on equip. These will be sellable. So if people are crafting these, they can put them on the trade post. You'll be able to buy them. My guess is they will get somewhat expensive at a certain point, especially on launch. So once again, just to highlight, you need 10 charged sand, 4 sulfur, and then you'll need 5 of 2 of the different glyphs, depending on which rune glass you want, and 3 ancient globs of ectoplasm. Once you have those, you'll bring that, then you have the case. You'll bring the case back over to the stone cutter, use that to cut the gems, and then you can put the gems in both your armor and your weapons. So once again, I hope this video was informative. I hope I can kind of guide you and help you on what you need, where to go, and all that stuff to be able to prep for Brimstone. A lot of this stuff doesn't come out until Brimstone actually launches. Once it launches, this is still a good guide to be able to know where to go and what you need to get everything and what every item is. So I hope this video was informative. I hope it was helpful. If so, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.